for Talk to Me Tuesday on Tuesday, July 9th. I hope everybody in the U.S. had a good 4th of July weekend. I did get a 4-day weekend, and I did get a lot done when I wasn't binge watching Line of Duty on Acorn TV. But you'll see behind me, I have made a start on the memorial quilt for my friend Deanne. I haven't been sharing it on Instagram because she follows me on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure she doesn't watch these videos. If you do, Deanne, you should probably stop watching now because I haven't wanted to share it with her until it's completely done. So you will see behind you the 2 blocks that I'm making for this quilt design. It's just a simple 9 patch. There's an 8.5 inch square. I cut all those with my AccuQuilt. There's an 8.5 inch square in the center. And then this is the scarf fabric, which I strip pieced. I cut into strips with the AccuQuilt, and I strip pieced with 8.5 inch strips of the pink fabric. The pink fabric was fabric in my stash. That was her mother's favorite color. This was pajama pants, and this was pajama pants. I have a lot of squares left over, a great number. All of the squares are pieced, but I still need to, they're all pieced, I just need to press them open and start piecing the top. However, I set that aside because Linus is this weekend, and I did want to try to get one thing finished, one blanket finished to turn in. So I took the red and blue, red work and blue work quilt that had the yellow border. I basted it and am straight line quilting it with the Grand Quilter using the walking foot that I bought a few months ago. Got the tension all worked out. Everything's working great as far as that's concerned. This was my first time basting using the noodle technique, the pool noodles. There's some pros and cons. I will say, if you want to try to do this, I believe that it was really designed more for pinning, pin basting a quilt, than spray basting. So, I have had quite a bit of puckering issues and things like that. I spray basted the quilt with the pool noodles. I'm going to try it again. I'm not a fan of pin basting. I don't plan to sit there and take forever pin basting. My suggestion is, if you want to try this, I think it's worth trying at any rate. Make sure you are basting on a surface that is longer than the quilt that you're basting, than the width of the quilt that you're basting. Because I sort of jury-rigged my my ironing board next to my cutting table so that I had a wide enough surface, because the quilt was wider than my cutting table, but I like the height that it's at. And I think that's part of what caused my problem. So I think if you have a single surface that you are basting on that is wider by at least, say, 3 to 6 inches than the width of the quilt that you're basting, the width of the backing of what you're basting, I think that might work better. I think it would work great for pin basting. Maybe having a noodle at each end of the backing might help. I don't know. I'll try a few things. You know, it's an experiment worth repeating, but changing some of the variables. So that's what I'm trying to do. Meanwhile, I refuse to pick out any stitches on this quilt because I want to get it done. So I'm probably just going to finish my grid. I went down the seams. I'm going to the, a width of between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch to each side of the seam. Doing a grid there, and I probably won't even quilt anything on the inside of the squares. I would like to, but I'm having so much trouble with the fabric shifting, or just being not basted well, that I don't think I want to take that kind of time to individually quilt in each space. There are things I would do differently if I were starting back at the beginning, but I'm not going to go back in time. I'm not going to rip anything out. My math was off when I did the, when I was cutting the backing, so my backing and batting actually ended out a tad too short. And rather than add more, I'm just going to trim the top and bottom of the yellow border down when I go to trim the quilt up after I'm done quilting, before I bind, and call it good. So you guys will see that when it's done. And that's what's going on here. And then I'll jump back into finishing pressing these and piecing the top together. Yeah, so that's it. I did get a chance to catch up in person for a few hours with Jennifer on Sunday night, and that was awesome. And we will be seeing each other again later this year, but it was nice to just have a quick catch up, because we haven't been together since November, so it was nice to get a quick catch up while she was on her vacation, on her way to the Grand Canyon. So Jen, it was great to see you. It's good to see Eli. I hope you guys are having an awesome time on your vacation. You seemed like you were, and continue to do so. And I am proud to have been the person who stood up next to you 25 years ago, Thursday, the 11th. I'm proud to have been the person who stood up next to you when you got married to Eli 25 years ago. And I'm proud to still be your friend now, because you're the bestest. So I love you. That's it. I look forward to watching your videos, and I hope everybody has a crafty week, and I will see you next week. Bye!